Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here tonight. We're very excited. We just got back from Boca Raton. It was an incredible event. You hear an echo. Is everybody muted? Hold on a second. Everybody should be an experienced hangout person by now. That knows that we got to be muted in the beginning to eliminate background noise. But hey, on the hangout you keep it real, and that's what happens. But you guys, it was an incredible event. We got a meeting room that will hold 50, and we filled every single seat. This was the very first South Florida event, and I believe that it was a huge success. I would like to commend the ones that attended and had guests there and made the most of it. I've got some of those folks on the panel tonight to share a little bit with you about what they got out of the event. Rob Tripodi had a ton of guests, and he's told me he's going to have about 6 new emperors coming on board this week. That's the power of live events. Rick Firth had over a half a dozen guests. I know one of those guys joined us for dinner on Friday night. He came back on Saturday with guests, and they're like on fire right now. Patricia and James had guests. We got to spend some quality time with them, as well as Brett. We've got him and a gentleman that really caught the vision, Nico, on the call with us tonight. So before we go on to anything else, I really want to emphasize the power of live events. There is nothing that will set your business forward, sometimes 6 months ahead, than getting clear, getting your vision clear, and getting your guests in front of a live event. Because the guests in the room, they were sitting spellbound. And whenever they come face to face with us, they just, the hangouts are fantastic. I love the hangouts. But there's something with meeting people face to face and knowing it's real. And so before we go on, I'm going to call on some of our panelists to give their feedback about the event this past weekend. Let's start with Brett. Brett came down 10 hours, drove down 10 hours from Atlanta, and actually got in a few days early so he could do some pre-promotion. Brett, can you share with us? You'll have to unmute.
Right, absolutely. You can hear me fine now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It was a phenomenal event. I would have driven 20 hours if I could have to go to Boca Raton. I would be in Los Angeles in 2 weeks if I wasn't going on a cruise that was planned for. I've had that planned for about 6 months. So unfortunately, my cruise will be ending on the big event on March the 1st. I do encourage you that, and I see a lot of interest now for Los Angeles based on just what happened in Boca Raton. I've seen a lot of people post about that. And what, there is nothing like a live event, like Faraday said. It absolutely does nothing but focuses you on the task at hand. And I put out a video. I woke up. I don't know. It's been on my mind today, and so I put out what I consider a pretty pointed video, and it just simply focuses people on, are you getting the results that you need? And just based on what I learned from Dave and Faraday over the last few days, it even made me more realize that we are in the right place at the right time, and if I wasn't laser focused before, I certainly am now, and I got to connect with my guy Nico. We got a whole new game plan going for him, and since he lives in Miami, He's got a great game plan. I'm sure he'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. But I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I got to hang out with Patricia and Crazy Ball James, Dave, Faraday, Nico. There's nothing like networking at a live event. I wouldn't trade it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. It has set my business back on fire, and I've got this week to get the word out and grow my business before I spend a week on a boat. But I've got my I got my business cards all ready, and talk about a captive audience on a boat. I can't wait to go to the casino on the boat and just sit down at the blackjack table and just mention to the person next to me, you know, I make 25% every time somebody places a bet in a casino. And I've got that newfound confidence, and Dave and Faraday specifically gave that to me. And if you watch the video that I put out this afternoon, it'll probably come across in that video. So anyway, I won't take up too much more of your time, but thanks so much for having me. It was a blast getting to know everybody.
Thank you, Brett. It was a pleasure getting to meet you, and so happy that you got a lot out of the event. And Brett brings up a very good point, and that point was getting clear. Really getting clear and getting focused. And I really think that it helps with your confidence. There was a lady in the UK that reached out to us in our Facebook group, and I didn't realize she was in the UK. I was going to have her on the event tonight so we could examine what she's saying to people, because she says that she has tried to contact 40 people the way I suggest, talking to them, leading with stories, with the friend request, and she says she hasn't gotten anywhere. And it doesn't make any sense to me, because I recruited one person even on the way down to Boca Raton from a friend request. I'll share this story and then we'll get back to the event. I had the internet going, while we're driving down. So I was responding to some, accepting some friend requests and doing the way I do, sharing stories and, hello, and thanks. I see that you are in, I have a lot, somebody, hold on, somebody came on unmuted, hold on. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, I was responding to this friend request. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was, said that, it looks like you must be a marketer, and what do you do? And it resulted, I had a 4-hour drive down there, so it resulted in a little back and forth conversation, and he wanted to know more. And I did send him the hangout, while I was driving down, but I said, look, I'm on my way down to a meeting, and then, I'm going to be pretty much tied up all day tomorrow in a live event, but, we can set up a time to talk on Sunday. Anyway, what happened Saturday night, or was it Friday night? Oh, Friday night. This very same day I had talked to him, I got a call like at midnight that night, because the guy had taken the hangout. Remember, I talk about in these trainings how to use these hangouts and that's what I talked about in Boca Raton too, how to effectively set this up and use the hangouts and promote me as your partner, then get me on a 3-way call. But anyway, he had already gone on his own, taken the hangout, sent it out to 3 people, and then so he calls me at midnight that night, and he's like, I got to get in right now. He says, because of the 3 people I sent your hangout to, they want to get involved. He says, so I hadn't even had a chance to talk to him already, and I already am I got a sign up on Valentine's Day from a friend request. So I wanted that particular lady, Angela, to get on here so we could examine what exactly she's saying, that it's not working for her. But the point I'm getting back to in a long way is Brett was talking about a newfound confidence that he has. And the only thing I can think of with some people that are not having the results that they want when they're talking to people is maybe they don't have that same level of confidence and belief that I have, and that now Brett has, Patricia has, James has, that people are going to listen to them. And that's one of the things that live events will do for you. So with that, I'm going to bring up Nico. Nico was at the event. Nico, don't be afraid. I know this is your first hangout. I just want you to share with everybody what you got out of the event and what it's done for your level of belief, like from where you were before, maybe what you came out of it with. You'll have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me?
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, first off, I would like to say that the event was great, actually. Brett is actually the one, as he said, he's the one that brought me in, and he showed me a lot. And, you know, after watching the videos, it was exciting. You know, I looked at them, and I scoured YouTube for information about I2G, and everywhere I looked, I saw Faraday. And so, you know, just listening to different videos that you posted and looking, you know, at the information in the back office after I came in, it was all very, you know, exciting, but it was just a lot of information. So, you know, going to the event really opened my eyes. It got me extremely excited. It was an amazing, you know, experience. And hearing from you and Dave and Patricia Platt and James, it was just great. And as you said, everybody, as you started leading with the stories, everybody was just sitting there, you know, dumbfounded and stargazed. It was incredible. And I'm excited. I can't wait to, you know, take this to the next level. Brett and I are working on some things to get things rocking and rolling for South Florida and everything. You know, I'm really excited. I'll put it that way.
Thank you, Nico. It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we're looking forward to working with you and getting back to South Florida again, because we'd love to double the size of the meeting for the very next one that we do. And of course, we've promised Brett that we will come down to Atlanta too, so he doesn't have to always travel 10 hours to come on down to see us. I'd like to bring Patricia up. She got down to South Florida a few days early so they could work the South Florida area, her and Crazy Ball James. So he's probably busy, you know, working with all the people he signed up this weekend. But Patricia also, she also went to the last LA event, and she is coming to the Anaheim event coming up in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So, you know, Patricia, you can really speak to the power of live events and how it's made you clear and what it's done for your business.
Thank you, Faraday. At California event at Christmas time, and at that time I've been with the company for a little less than a month, actually, but I was excited and I wanted to, you know, see from, you know, who these and be able to see for myself, you know, that it was real and it was something sustainable, and you know that and the training too. I wanted to learn as much as I could, and there was so many great trainings that went on. But I also wanted to meet the owner because, you know, you can tell a lot about a company by its leadership, and I wanted to get a feel for myself about the leadership, and I am so glad I did, because nothing, you know, made me feel more strong and positive about this company than being able to be there with Rick and Angela and you and Dave, Susan and Rich and Dennis and Jason and everybody, just everybody treating me so well, and here I was, this person, and I'm a month into the company, barely made anything, uh, and everybody was so kind and treated me so well, and I learned so much from everybody. I couldn't possibly even explain to you how valuable that was. I mean, just for my self-confidence alone, because I've always had issues with that, and if you lack the self-confidence, you're not going to be able to express to others the value of our opportunity. So you have to be confident in who you are and what you're representing. I gathered that from that event, and then the Florida event that we just had. I mean, that was just amazing. I can't. It's so indescribable. I learned so much because every time you think you never know what you don't know until you know it. So listening to Faraday explain in great detail right there in front of all of us what exactly she does and how she responds to the friend requests and how she gets the friend requests and how she presents the information to them, and listening to Dave talk about how to get people on the phone and what to say to them once you've got them there, and what to say, and most importantly what not to say. And I find that information quite valuable because myself, I have a little bit of trouble getting people on the phones, and I'm working on that. And it was really good to be able to learn from him what I should be doing so I can implement that and increase my own business. So I mean, the power of a live event, there's just, I mean, you can hear it on a Hangout, but being right there and having them be able to answer your questions right there, I mean, there's nothing like it in the world. It's just fantastic. And then also having all of the different people there all excited about the same thing. There's just a big ball of positive energy, and you just can't help but be rolled over by it like a snowball. It kind of picks you up and carries you forward. It's an amazing feeling.
Okay, thank you. That was wonderful, Patricia. I appreciate that, and I really do believe being present like Patricia is in the business every single day, day in, day out. She's not only doing the daily activities that you have to do every single day, and we've talked about repeatedly on the prior trainings, but she's keeping her mindset focused, keeping clear, and keeping excited by by plugging into every single hangout we do, every single live event. And with the power of live events is also the business that gets done before and after the meeting. Because I'll tell you this business is 100% about relationships. And so there is not a single live meeting that I've gone to that I haven't personally got a lot of value. And, those relationships those relationships stay with you for years and years and years and years to come. And the friendships that you make are going to last for years and years to come. Now, if you can at all get out to this LA Anaheim event on the 28th and March 1st, I would highly recommend that you get a plane, to get in the car, whatever you can do to get to this event. It's going to be very exciting. They are going to announce some enhancements, some very exciting enhancements to the I2G Touch. They are going to announce the music product. They're going to be recording the pop-out videos for everybody. And you're going to get a chance, of course, to meet all of us in person. all of the top leaders with Richard and Susan and Jason Sim and Juan Velasquez and Dennis DeBoren and Tony Adamy, everybody we talk about on the Hangouts, you'll actually get to meet them, shake their hand, and listen in on their trainings. So I hope you guys can make it. We've already made our reservations. I sent out an email today with the order form where you can order your tickets. And so with that, Dave, do you want to add anything to that about the power of events before we move on?
Yeah, actually, yeah, the power of events, guys. The thing is, I can remember when I first got started in our business, and I've shared that story with you as I go through that. But I'll never forget when they first told me, Dave, go to these events. They'll save you 6 months to a year in your business. Well, remember, because I focused with my mentors, my income was already at a level I was not believing anyway. But everything was starting to go positive. And he said, Dave, you got to do whatever you can do to get there. Now, remember, sometimes it's not easy to go do that. But I did. And I'll never forget it because I drove. I didn't even fly because I couldn't afford, but I could drive. And back then, and I always had conversion vans. I literally slept in my van, even at the hotel. I didn't even sleep in the hotel. I actually showered up in the pool area of this fancy hotel. I learned how to get in it and go up to the top area, and I hanged out at the pool to be cool, and I didn't know it, but I was using their facilities to shower. Guys, you got to do what you got to do to get to these events. Nobody knew that once I got into the meeting, okay? But that's what I did. Now, in these meetings, do what you can do. There's rooms to share. I mean, I can remember taking my teammates with me through the years to these events, and there was guys that literally had to beg, borrow, and steal to come. And I'll never forget it. One time we did one at the Treasures Island in Vegas, and I literally had 8 people camped out in my suite on the floor because they couldn't afford the deal. But during that event, we took 15 cars out, our team alone. I had 15 people going out of there with cars. We took every bonus there was in that plan and everything. And the team was literally on fire when it came out of there. The reason I share that with you is because nobody knew they were camping out on my floor except me. And I didn't care because I knew that they could get clear and get the passion of what we get. Now, you know, the events are the events. I mean, we were excited. We knew what was going to happen in Boca Raton. You know, I set Brad up and Patricia, and then I didn't get to talk to Nico first, but I shared with him. I said, it's not who you get to these events, it's what you get out of these events of what's going to get you clear. It's not, I don't want people to focus. Now, it's great to get all these guests, and they did do that. Nico wrote me this nice little email this morning, you know, and he's really clear, wants to get in. It was funny because Brett said to me, where do I sit? And I said, well, I sit wherever you want. Money sits in the front. And that's where him and his guests sat all weekend long. And guys, if you go to the big events, that's what you want to do. You know, we're buying these reserved tickets left and right for our teammates because we don't want you in the back. I want you in the front. I want you in the front rows because that's where the money is. That's where you get the clear vision. And all I can share with you in an event is an event will save you 6 months to 12 months down the road, not only for your business, but for you personally, okay? Because the stories that you come out of there with are unbelievable, okay? I'm like a big sponge at these meetings. I get everybody. I want to know everybody's story. I mean, we had a lady come up to us that was handicapped, her husband, the whole deal. They did everything they could to get there the other day. You know, I mean, so do whatever you can, but then it's coming up. You still got plenty of time to get a great rate a good fly ticket, whatever. It's always best to get in there. Friday night's going to be a biz up, which is great because what will happen is